Hi, my name is Jill Magsaysay. I'm the VP of Engineering at My Decisive, and I would love to show you how easy it is to install our Quickstart. I'm also going to time this just so we can see how fast it is. First thing we're doing here on the right-hand side of the screen is installing all of the necessary infrastructure to run MDAI, which is what we're calling our Smart Telemetry Hub, as well as all the associated infrastructure inside of it. Right now, what we're doing is setting up a kind cluster. Now we're installing Cert Manager. By the way, if you're wondering what any of these tools are, this is just iTerm, a terminal running some shell scripts, and the left side is K9s, a great Kubernetes tool that we use internally for debugging. All right, so Cert Manager is just completed. Now we're beginning to install the My Decisive technologies. After all of these technologies are kicked off and started, we should be able to generate some logs with the shell script. These would simulate the ability to send telemetry to an open telemetry collector, which is the entry point of the My Decisive infrastructure. That should kick off in a moment. Should see those log scripts generated. So there they are. And after that, see where we are. The log generators are deployed. We then move to a My Decisive hub deployment. This is a configuration that you can use to tweak how the My Decisive hub treats your telemetry streams. The OTel collector, as I mentioned, is the entry point of telemetry flowing into the My Decisive Smart Telemetry Hub. And we're using an example here in our Quickstart that is Fluentd to capture those logs that we created and then forward them to the OTel collector. Our Quickstart enables you to dynamically filter based on an attribute in your log stream. Let's see how this works. In our Quickstart, we have this recipe, we're calling it, for dynamic log filtration. What we want to do is we want to filter based on services that are sending over a configured threshold in our hub. So all of that magic is set up behind the scenes and you can go check it out yourself. But before we show you the magic of My Decisive Smart Telemetry Hub, I'd like to call out that our Quickstart intentionally does not have filtration from the get-go. So you can see the value of the dynamic filter once it is in place. Let's look at the Grafana dashboard to see how telemetry flows through in a filter-less state. And then we can advance into using the My Decisive dynamic filter solution. We should see telemetry flowing through. And if you're wanting to use Prometheus instead, you just port forward your Prometheus server. You can click on the expression to take a deep dive view into what is that threshold that you have set, what is the attribute in your logs that you're looking for. And then we have a pretty graph here to show you that metric in a smaller time window. So you can see that there are two services that are violating this threshold. From there, all the dynamic and automated behavior happens. Let's go back to your OTel config. So as mentioned earlier, we didn't have a filter applied just yet. But what I want to do now is I want to take this filter we have in our recipe, and I just want to apply it. We have some magic that's happening behind the scenes that turns this environment variable into a parameter. That will then pull the values that you're seeing in either Prometheus or Grafana, your tool of choice, service 1234 and 4321, and add them dynamically to your filter list. So these values would show up here. Let's make sure that we get your filter list uncommented in your pipeline. Now, last thing we have to do is make sure that we apply that new config. And I'm going to go back to the full pod view in K9s just to make sure that we do that deployment. Here we go. I see some new collectors firing. I love using our Grafana dashboard. It really is a nice view of showing the received data versus the sent data, and even faceting it by things like your service name or service identifier, whatever attribute you're looking at to sample your data. What we should see is a significant drop in data after a period of time. We have a scrape interval that runs about every minute. So what we need to stay focused on is these graphs to make sure that when the filter really does take effect, we do see a significant drop in that data. What I would expect to see in the next minute or so, and this is an important indicator right here, by the way, you saw that the data was flowing pretty significantly, and then there was a gap. What I'm doing is I'm showing you every minute. If I change this to the last 5 minutes, you might see that gap. And this received total versus sent total should slowly show a delta over time where there is more received than sent due to this filter in place. I'd like to also call out that there are several services. It's not just 4321 and 1234. We should still see some sent data here and probably at the lower end of this chart. Here we go. When we switch collectors, there's something that occurs where you have to wait again for your data to be measured to hit these thresholds. So even if you previously had one of these alerts that were active without that filter occurring, we are going to get a slightly different result because the data being measured from a different perspective, more specifically from a different collector instance or IP. So we can really see this filter taking effect right now. And we're seeing a pretty significant decrease in the egress data out to your eventual destination. This is our quick start. We hope you've enjoyed it. This is how fast it is to get dynamic filtering that's highly configurable straight to your fingertips. It's under 15 minutes. Thanks for watching.